Well, hey friends, it's Tracy from Tea Time with Tracy and Violet and crew and whatever. I'm doing my May hopefuls, TBR, maybe TBR, potential TBR. Anyways, I just got done doing my reading wrap up of April. So I'm sitting here, I'm going to do the next one right away. And I always pick way more books than I usually would read. It's a mishmash of different things, and I might go completely off the rails. I did this past month, but anyways, I'm just gonna dive right in. First one is a Peter Straub book. I've never read him before, The Hellfire Club. The reason why I picked this one, I read Hellfire by John Saul last month, and I'm just like, oh, it's almost the same title. I'm gonna read it and see which one I like better, even though they're not the same author, not the same story whatsoever. I don't know what this is about. Peter Straub. I know he writes Ghost Story. I haven't read that. That's one of his popular books. There's probably other ones too, but I'm just not familiar with his writing. But I have this book, so I'm hoping to get to that. This I've had for a while. I think it's YA. I'm not the biggest YA reader. I've had it on my shelves. I'll probably give it to one of my kids, but I thought I have it. I'm going to read it. They're short little books. Really short. And if they're YA, they're super easy to breeze through. They're easy on the eyes. This is called Asylum. It's a trilogy. There's Asylum, Sanctum, and Catacomb. And I don't know what it's about, but I'm assuming about asylum. And a, insane asylum maybe with kids. I don't know. If I read it and it's appropriate, I got kids from age 9 to 16 living in the house now. It can go on one of their shelves. Yeah. Another one. I'm hoping to get to this one, maybe not, maybe next month. This is a trilogy, but I just put the first book. It just reminds me of what a summertime horror would be, because it's I believe like a slasher trilogy, and it takes place at a rundown water park, or maybe it's not a rundown one. It takes place at a water park. It just reminds me of like an old 80s film or something. This is the first book. If I don't get to it this month, I'll want to read it before summer, because I'd like to do a summertime horror video, because I have some really good ones, I think. And yeah, this is by a novel by slasher horror by Cameron Rubik. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Anyways, Kill River. And I do have the other two books. I just thought I might slip that in this month and then I can catch up. These two are in the same series. How I read almost the entire New Species series last month. It was not a shifter romance, but it's a series that I read like 10 plus years ago. I reread most of it at like 13 books of the 15 last month. I have 2 of them here on this list too that I just want to wrap up the whole series. This is another series I read 10 plus years ago. However, I didn't read the whole series because I didn't have all the books. I have never read this one. This is book 1 in the series. It's a Laura Lee or Lorelei book, Tempting the Beast. Fancy covers, I know. But the series is called Breeds. And this is a straight up shifter romance, I believe. I've never read this one. And I think this is book 2, Elizabeth. I have a few of the books upstairs and I really liked them when I read them years ago. I have 6 or 7 of the books in the series. There's like 33 books in the series. So I don't have all the series, but I want to start this series over from jump. It'll be my first time reading this and this. And if I love it as much as I loved reading that New Species, yeah, there. Laura Lee writes a whole bunch of different series. Like she has oodles of books out. These are a bit older, but I really loved what I had read from her years ago. So those ones. All right, this is the first in a trilogy, I think, and I do have the trilogy. I think it's 3, maybe 4. It's an Alice in Wonderland reverse harem or polyamorous romance, but I'm a huge fan of Alice in Wonderland and all different versions of movies and books and just any kind of takes, plays, whatever. This is CM Student. I've never read her before. And I have the whole series. I thought I'll start that. And it's not that long. It's not that dense. I might fall down this rabbit hole. I have other series of Alice in Wonderland inspired books. So I have no idea if this takes place in a Wonderland or it's just loosely based on it. But yeah, that one. This one, I have no idea what it's about. Well, I bought this a year ago or 2 years ago. I think this is like a thriller, serial killer, torture, maybe rapist. I'm not sure. His next victim. That's all I can say about it. I don't know. It looks like this is by D.W. Thomas. It's not, it looks really thick, but I love that it's spaced good. So it should be comfortable on the eyes to read. The Lost Girls series, book 1. So I don't know how many books are in this series. I think it's independently published. And I don't know. I've just had it a long time. I thought I'll get to it when I just want to switch up from something. These two are the last two in that series. Laura Donner one, New Species. I'm not going to get into it, but if I read these two, I'll have read that entire series again. So those. I thrifted this over a year ago. I guess it's a movie. I've never seen it. Savages by Dawn Winslow. I have no idea what it's about. None whatsoever. I just had it on my shelves. It's not a big book. And do you know the movie? I don't know. Was there a book out before the movie? I don't know. Now a motion picture. Yeah, it must have been. From Oliver Stone. None. Whew, no idea. I've had this Anna Zari's trilogy, the Twist Me series. I've never read it. I have read her Tormentor Mine series. I've read another series. I forget what it's called. She's like, I like some other ones I didn't like as much, but they're not bad. This one is one of her older series, I believe. It's about a young billionaire that owns his own private island, crime kind of thing. He takes a fancy to a young woman, I believe, and kidnaps her and takes her to this island, and it goes from there. That's really all I know. Guess he's not a very nice guy, but probably not as bad as Rules of Bennett series that I've read, but I don't know. Trilogy, I don't know. I believe this guy in this series is in the world where that Tormentor Mind series is. Like, it's a giant world. This is just this guy's trilogy. I don't know. That. I have this trilogy too. This is the first book, The Purge of Babylon, by Sam. I don't know how to say that. I don't even want to attempt it. All right, this is like end of the world, apocalyptic. I don't know if it's zombies or what. Against all odds, survivors have emerged from the blood-soaked night that devastated the planet and reduced humanity to an endangered species. Among survivors, 2 ex-army rangers, a businesswoman, and a third-year medical student. But surviving the purge was one thing. Staying alive is a matter, totally different matter entirely. I don't know what it's about. I just went through a phase of buying like end of the world, apocalyptic, zombie, you know, whatever. I guess this is kind of a purge trilogy. I don't know. There's 3 big books in it. This is the first one. I'm hoping to get to it so I can start working my way through some of the series that I have. And a novel of survival, it says. The Purge of Babylon. Have you ever heard of it? Right, I've seen this all over BookTube for a couple of years now. The Mindfuck series. There's really 5 books in this series. This is just a bind up, and they're very short, like novella length. So I'm thinking I could read 1 and then read another book, and read 2 and read another book. There's 5 of them in here, and it's spaced nicely. So I believe this follows a woman serial killer. She's getting revenge on something that happened to her when she was a child, I think, or a young woman. And she's going around killing people that abused her and tortured her or whatever. I'm not sure. She's very good at it, and she hasn't got caught, and she has signature moves. And there's FBI involved trying to find the serial killer. Lo and behold, the FBI person in the CIA, or FBI, yeah, or the serial killer, whatever, cross paths. They end up dating, and he is investigating the serial killer. Unbeknownst to him, she is the actual serial killer, but he doesn't know that, and that's all I know about it. So that, if you like Dexter or something, maybe. Oh, just a minute. All right, I just switched rooms. My husband was out there getting his coffee and all that stuff. So anyways, the last ones that I want to potentially read is, there's another one in here too, but The Stopover in the Casanova. This is 2 of the 3 books that are in the Miles High Club. I read another book by her, but not in this. Yeah, that goes with the other one. Anyways, I believe this is millionaire, billionaire kind of romances. This one, I believe, this rich guy is on an airplane, is sitting beside a lady, and there's a stopover, and they have a one-night stand. A year later, I think, she's going for an interview, and lo and behold, he's the boss. Boss romance, maybe? I don't know. The Casanova, I believe it's about a player who's rich and successful and stuff, and cross paths with somebody. I don't know. Another boss. Kate's hot new pen pal is a welcome distraction from her horrible boss, but nobody is distracting as Elliot Miles, and he knows it. I believe he's a player and falls for somebody, but this somebody is hesitant because of his past, maybe? I'm not sure. But I have read one book by her about Mr. Masters, and I really liked it. That was a couple years ago. It's a nanny one. And yeah, I enjoyed that. So I have a couple more of her books. I thought I will try that. These are Jonathan Mayberry zombie books. I believe these are labeled as YA. I'm not sure. This was a complete cover buy for me. I bought this a while ago. I think this is the first one. I don't know. Maybe Rotten Ruin. I don't know which one is first. I read a series of his, the Pine Deep series. It's a really fantastic trilogy based around Halloween, straight up Halloween series. Highly recommend. Those are the only books of his that I read, I think. This is zombie. All I know is zombie. But look at these covers. Like, how awesome. I'm a big fan of zombies. And like, I didn't know they were YA when I bought them. But I do know Jonathan Mayberry and Rotten Ruin and Dust and Decay. That. This one is another survival one, I believe. A Wilderness Within and a Castle. I don't know if I've ever read her before. I forget. I think this follows a man. He was like the protector of the president, but a virus took over the world and it's dwindled down to hardly anybody. And he's the last one in the bunker with the president. I think the president must succumb to the disease and he's left. So he finally leaves the bunker and eventually stumbles across a young woman. This is a thriller, like survival romance. And she, it's a ragtag. The two of them try to survive together, and I'm assuming it's a romance. It says thriller romance. Survival. Virus. I don't know. Apparently he must be immune to it. She must be too. I don't know. Devious Lies. This is a big old chunker. I don't know whether I'll get to it. Parker S. Huntington. I can't remember if I've ever read anything by this author. I'm assuming it's a lady. I don't know. Shouldn't assume things. Anyways, I think this is about a family at the beginning. It's this rich family in this town, like megabucks, and a family that lives on that property that works for the rich family has a son. teenage son, or young man son, and the rich family has a daughter. Anyways, turns out this family ends up ripping off the town, and that family loses their job after years of working for this family, like years and years of working for this family. And down the road a few years, the young woman is struggling for survival. Her mom's a real bee and is withholding her trust fund or whatever it is, like her inheritance or whatever it is. And I think roles are reversed. He's a mega successful, and she ends up working for him unbeknownst, like she was not aware of it, I think. That's my husband sneezing. One more? Maybe one more? Anyways. And he is out to exact revenge for this town because he was very passionate about his town and his family and stuff. I don't know. It seems really long for that, but it might be very good. I don't know. And last but not least is another T.L. Swan book. Oh, just a minute. All right, Mr. Scotia. I think this is in that world where Mr. Masters is that I read, and I think there's another one in this series. I'm not sure. It's all in the same world, but like the characters are all brothers or friends or something. I don't know, but I think this one has to do with a very successful businessman. Look at his belly button. And heiress to he's like a millionaire. She's like a billionaire, or her father is, and she's very protected and not allowed to meet people and all that stuff. Anyways, he takes a shine to her. I think that's what this is. Maybe that's the Casanova. I don't know. Anyways, it's that, and there's headbutting between him and the family and stuff. I'm not sure exactly. This is another big chunker, so I don't know. I just like to book books, so I have a variety to pick from. So anyways, that's my potential hopeful TBR list pile, and I'm going to say peace, love, and happiness today and every single day. Please like, share, and subscribe if you so choose, but if not, that's okay too. I still love ya. I still want all the happiness in the world for each and every one of you out there. I certainly do. I really, really honest and truly do. Yes, I do. So, okay, guys, with that, I'm going to say have a good night or have a good morning, and I will see you sometime soon. Bye. Boink.